Hello, hello, hello. I got a rock here for my protection. I think this is a quartz rock from the ocean. And I use this opportunity to talk to my psychiatrist laptop again. But I don't take any more medication. So that is really, 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 really super. So I quit all of that long time ago. All of that toxic stuff. I do everything holistic now. So last night I was lying awake in bed for like over 7 hours. And I just could not put that situation aside with my bully baby. And I kept thinking and thinking and thinking and thinking about him. And it was tormenting me, that situation. Because my bully baby is a criminal. Okay, so that is the problem. And so I finally got up and I saw Paul was getting up too. He was awake around 7 a.m. too. And so I went in his room and I told him, I said, this isn't gonna work out. Making a video.
Okay, I cleaned all the...
Yeah, making video. So, yeah, he was doing some gardening. So, anyway, and he said, whatever you want to do, we'll do. And he's already against getting a pit bull type of dog, pit bull type of breed. He tried real hard to talk me out of it for a long time. Then I did that trickery stuff, I didn't mean to do that trickery stuff. That was unintentional. Trust me, I did not. That was not some kind of chess move or something. It just happened that way, that he felt kind of extortionized into getting the dog, and then I was so excited, and I was crying in joy. I was looking forward to picking up my bully baby, the American bully. And I knew he had issues, I knew he was doing time, but I kind of was in denial about it. Then we talked to the main supervisor lady at the animal shelter, and she was a little bit hesitant to come forward with the entire file, the entire criminal record, because they do try to get these dogs adopted out. They really want them to go to good homes. And she could see that we love dogs, and we also had experience even with a mean dog, but we didn't want to get another mean dog. So, and we had a mean Great Dane in LA, and he bit Paul many times. Very possessive over food, does not pass the rubber hand test. And when I asked her directly, so he didn't pass the rubber hand test, right? She was very hesitant in saying it directly, but she said, well, yes, he is very possessive of his toys and food, even toys. So, like if you give him something to play with and you might accidentally touch his toy, he might bite. So I can't. I cannot do this. I want to rescue the dog, but I cannot do this to Paul. I can't do this to myself. I can't have a dog who might kill a cat. We have stray cats outside whom we are feeding. There are birds outside we feed. He might kill another dog, maybe a little harmless little dog on the hiking trail. Who knows what he might do? He might bite a child. He might kill a child. If we, we will always have him on the leash, of course. But, what if for some reason he pulls really hard on the chest harness and gets away? What if we are not paying 100% full attention at all times, or maybe looking at something or getting distracted, and the dog breaks out, runs off, and murders someone? So I mean, that would be heartbreaking. It would be devastating for me, and also we would get sued, and Paul would get sued out of all of his assets that he has. So people in the chat room warned me about this. I didn't listen, but I am listening. This did not go completely past me. I was listening, and I do not want a situation like this where we have an aggressive, volatile animal who might snap at any time. And it is infinitely unethical for dog breeders to breed aggressive dogs, aggressive characters, personalities. It's infinitely unethical. And I have a very, very strong political opinion about this also. What I would do with those people if I was a legislator. I'm not going to get into it now. I hope the dog finds someone who is capable of giving him infinite love and also protecting him from hurting others. So that's what I hope. Really hope. I cried for weeks over this. I cried rivers over this. I love that dog so infinitely much. But I can't do this to Paul, and I can't do this to myself. I cannot have a violent animal. I can't have a criminal in my house. I cannot. It's not gonna work. No. I gotta give a kind-hearted, gentle dog a chance. Okay? A chance to have a good life, a good retirement. Okay? That's what I need to do. Okay? I still love the bully baby, the American bully. He's absolutely infinitely gorgeous and lovely and cute and adorable, and I love him infinitely much, and he wants love, but I cannot take that enormous risk. I just can't do it. And so after I finally came to that conclusion at 7 a.m. in the morning, then I was able to go back to sleep and sleep for a couple of more hours. So, but this has been a nerve-wracking last month, I would say. God. Like many decisions, back and forth, back and forth, back and forth, but never really fully concluded. So, but now I did come to the complete resolution on this. So, even if this feels like a soul contract and we were meant to be together, but maybe that's just my imagination, because I just was looking for dogs so desperately, that when I see the next gorgeous dog, I think this is my soul contract. But maybe he isn't, so I don't think he is, because I'm not going to adopt him, so then it wasn't a soul contract. Soul contract is something that actually comes into alignment and into manifestation. So, and I'm gonna have to wait longer until I find my ideal dog. My ideal dog is, this is my absolute ultimate ideal dog, an albino with red eyes, European, fully 100% European Basset Hound from the Ukrainian bloodline. And that's a little bit too much to ask for from the infinite cosmos, because there are not that many out there. And I don't think there's any out there that meet this requirement. No, I don't think so. That's like asking the infinite cosmos to send me an extraterrestrial spaceship, have them beam themselves down to our broken balcony, knock on the balcony door, and hand me over a naked blue European Basset Hound that looks exactly identical to the Ukrainian and Russian bloodlines, and Polish and Slovakian bloodlines, and even bigger. So no, that is almost as impossible as that scenario. I've been daydreaming about all of those things, yeah. It's because I'm an artist. I daydream about impossible scenarios sometimes. Yeah, got nothing else to do other than to make very boring videos for YouTube. And emotional videos and deep psychological, philosophical videos, and use this as my psychiatrist. Because I have nobody else to talk to. I talk to Paul sometimes about that stuff, and then he will be trying to give me rational solutions, and I don't always want to hear rational solutions, and Tony Robbins already talked about this. There's a psychologist out there, I forgot the name now, Dr. Gray, I think. And he wrote a book, Men Are From Mars and Women Are From Venus. And men, they always talk about rational instant solutions. We gotta find an instant solution, and this needs to be solved right now, and we need to cheer up, chin up. My dad always, chin up. You need to see a psychiatrist. And Paul always jealousy is bad. And you had a personality conflict with your grandfather. Yeah, I already know all of this. That doesn't help me very much. What I need in that moment when I don't feel very good is I need a computer to listen to me without arguing. And that's what I have now on the internet, and that's a wonderful thing. And sometimes people will write cringe underneath. They have the right to do that. They also have the right to block me, and they never have to see my face again. And that's why I don't feel so bad about making videos. I don't feel like I'm imposing, because people don't have to watch my videos, so. And I also speak for a lot of us. I speak for all of us women and girls. I want women to empower themselves. I want women to not put up with men who tell them to cheer up when they are not feeling good. Okay, so if you live with someone, if you're financially dependent on someone like this, that's a different thing. But you need to make sure that you make videos if you can. Most people are too shy to make videos. I used to be way too shy too in the past. I still feel very, very uneasy about it, but I think it is important to make videos, very, very important. Or at least talk to people, talk to other women and cry on their shoulders and share how you feel, because we women, particularly we older women, we do not tell you that you need to cheer up or chin up or toughen up. We listen and we empathize, and we know how rough it is to be a woman. Okay, so it's very, very rough. But I have this feeling now, after I got to know men a little bit better through social media and chat rooms in particular. The chat rooms are really eye-opening for me as a hobby psychologist. Really eye-opening. And I'm not saying that in some kind of put-down way or in some kind of looking down on you or something. Not at all, Quite the opposite. I'm getting to understand men better. So I had a real hard time with that my whole life. Man, I had a hard time with that, understanding men. Gosh, I just could not wrap my head around it. How they behave and the lies and all of this, and the double standards and the contradictions. The double life type of thing. Trophy wife at home and the plump lady on the internet. It was very difficult for me to understand. I just could not. But I'm starting to understand them a little bit better now. So I see what's going on. I see that when men lie, it's not because they necessarily wanna want to make someone feel bad, or want to not even necessarily want to be so much in charge. They do that thing too, particularly the narcissists. But there are good men who also lie, and with the fake profiles and all of that, it's out of fear. Okay. They're afraid, and they test women. So they'll get another fake profile or different profile, and a couple of incognito profiles, and then a different one where they actually show themselves but with a different name, so that they don't feel humiliated or something, or feel like, oh, now if she doesn't like me, then that photo is not connected to the main account or whatever. That's what's going through their heads. So I see all of this now. I don't blame them for it. It's they must feel absolutely terrified. I'm not laughing. I'm just sorry. No, and I'm not laughing. I am not laughing. I'm so sorry about that. I can't help it. This has also been quite a soap opera lately. So I know I sound like I'm drunk, but I'm not. This is how I always am. I'm serious. This is how I always am. This is how I am in the chat room, particularly, because that is funny. Not because I'm laughing about you. It's a soap opera. It's a situation comedy. That's what it is. And the men, they are serious often, and that's when they are the funniest, because when they don't intend to be humorous, that's when it is always the funniest. That's the kind of comedy that I enjoy. So I don't enjoy any other comedy. I don't find any stand-up comedian funny. That in itself is funny again. So because I have Asperger's, so yeah, that makes me very weird. So my brain is wired differently, and I laugh about different things. The things that are meant to be funny, I find rather disturbing often. Sometimes I find it shocking and unethical. My dad was this sexist farmer joke. That was his absolute most favorite joke. You want to hear the joke? I already told that joke in the chat room once. I told Mike that joke because Mike always tells jokes. So I said, Mike, you want to hear a joke? Okay. So this is the joke. I don't know, maybe I talked about this before in my videos or mentioned it, but there's a rich man and he has an old ugly wife, and he thinks his dog is ugly. I don't think dogs can ever be ugly, but he brings his friend plastic surgeon over to his house, and he says, here's my dog, we'll start with him. So what do you think? What can you do about the dog? And the surgeon says, I don't know, that doesn't look too good. I don't think I can do anything about it. So then he says, all right, let me see your wife. So he inspects the wife. She takes all of her clothes off. And after a while, he comes back into the living room and says to the guy, can I see your dog one more time? With other words, I can't do anything about your wife, but there may be a slight chance I can do something for the dog. Yeah, and that is the kind of sexism that I grew up with. And also farmer worship. Yeah, so that's what my dad does. My dad thinks he is really taken care of in terms of health. Seriously? No. No. Not in my view. And I had conversations with him about this, and there is absolutely no way my dad would ever listen to me with holistic healing. Would never. His entire identification stands on the pharma industry. Although he's not a physician, he's an architect, but he's constantly surrounded with people from the Rotary Club, and there's a lot of physicians in there, and heart surgeons, and plastic surgeons, and those type of people. And he's talking to them all the time, and they say, what we do is cutting edge. That is the ultimate, The heck with all of those animal rights activists that always try to sabotage our careers. And I talked to my dad about that too, Animal testing. My dad's completely pro animal testing. Not good. No, not good at all. But I argued with him, and one time he hung up the phone. It's one way of dealing with it, So, but I'm not going to argue with them anymore. I argued with my mother for like 40 years or something. And then argued with her on Skype and Google Hangout, and she buys toxic, cruelty-based, suffering-based cosmetic. Lancaster, for example, from the United States, is made from cruelty and suffering. Tried to tell her, she just could not understand. For some reason, it did not go into her head. It didn't register. So, and then there's nothing I can do about it. Okay, it is what it is. And I also want to talk briefly about the Trump situation, what's happening here in the United States, particularly here in California. It's a complete freaking mess. That's what's happening. And so I hope Governor Newsom gets recalled. I'm so tired of all these lies and the corruption. I can't take it anymore. I really can't stand it. And what they did, what the Muslim corporate agenda did to Donald Trump is hideous, okay? It has to be said. I'm sorry, They planned, I don't know, I think they planned this so-called attack on the White House. There were people that were naive, I think, that actually wanted to do a peaceful protest, and it's very obvious to me, and there were other people as well talking about it in the chat room, that this was planned by the corporate agenda, the Muslim agenda, Antifa, Black Lives Matter. They had their fingers in this. They have those managers that are orchestrating all kinds of things. They orchestrated the violent riots too. They bussed people around to set fire to forests. It needs to be said. It's not, you don't hear this on the main media. They'll never talk about this. So we get this from alternative news sources, and we have to look for that, you know. It's not that easy to find, but it's out there. And so what happened is they also hired white actors to storm the White House. And they simply hired hitmen that wore Make America Great Again hats. They were disguised, okay, that's what it was. Hitmen, disguised hitmen. Murderers for hire. There are many of those out there. It's not that difficult to find those, okay. People want to make a quick dollar, you know, on cost of someone else. Many of those out there, trust me, okay. And yeah, and they orchestrated this. Then some naive people thought this was legitimate, and the rest were middlemen, hitmen, and collaborators. That's what it is, and the truth needs to be said, okay. And I want Donald Trump to stay in office, okay. I love Donald Trump. He's been the best president in history, okay, but most people don't know this. They don't know what all the things that he has done for animal rights, the environment, for social justice, and the list goes on and on and on and on, okay? So, peace and love.